Welcome to November. Oh shit, hang on. We gotta make sure that's over the top. The chat got moved up. There we go. You motherfucker. Hang on one sec, guys. Keep vibing while I fix this. I was wondering if that was gonna happen. Why is it not letting me do that? There we go. There we go. Hi, friends. What's up? What is up? Happy November, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone had a wonderful Halloween. Yeah, we're setting a new vibe. Every month is going to have a different vibe. It's my microphone. Yeah, I feel like November is kind of a mellow place, right? Everything is shutting down for the season. All the leaves are falling or fallen, and you know, it just gets quieter, which I like. So yeah, here we are. Here we are. As you can see, we are less than 150 subbies until we hit 10,000, and everything is ready. Knock on wood. Everything is ready. Shout out to the mods who were working really hard this week. Yes, Mod Squad shout out. They worked really hard to make sure our Discord is going to be safe and fun and cool, and hopefully with as little drama as possible. Parts of it will be open for everyone, even if you are not a paying member, because I think everyone deserves a treasure and a treat for getting us to 10K. And then there will be sections of it that are VIP for paying YouTube members. So shout out to Deej, who is, I guess I'm calling him the mod captain. He has been so awesome in taking so much work off my plate and helping coordinate everything with the other mods. And shout out to the other mods too. Everyone here in chat has been helpful. Everyone with the little wrench has been helpful to make Discord possible. So you'll see them here. You'll see them in Discord. Please thank them and listen to them and be cool. Be cool is the number one rule of the Gwamily Discord. I am a lawn ornament. What? Yeah, so they're great. And we will have a Discord very, very soon with lots of fun to come. I'm also finalizing the tiers for the memberships for YouTube. Essentially what's going to happen is for one low price, you get everything. But if you are so inclined to pitch in more, you're welcome to do that. And you'll be at a higher tier and you'll get everything as well. It's basically a sliding scale. There is no pressure to join. There's no pressure to pay more than the minimum. But if you feel like it and you can swing it, I know times are tough, then please do, because this is a lot of fun and I want to keep being able to do it. So yeah. Buttfish tier. Buttfish tier might have to be a special one. just for swish. I wanted to say happy Halloween, obviously, and we will show my costume. And I wanted to thank y'all for. Yes. Oh, thank you, Becca.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I look a lot like that tonight with no makeup on. I wanted to thank y'all for making October like extra awesome, because October is always my favorite, and also like the saddest month of the year for me, because it's when my dad died. It's also when my cat passed away last year. So it's like, it's a very bittersweet month, which is interesting because bittersweet's also one of my favorite plants. And it flourishes in October. So I like sitting in all the different emotions, and it was nice to have fun stuff to do all week, because every other year I felt like I haven't done enough spooky stuff, you know? Look, my black nail polish is coming off. And this year we did. I did so much more spooky stuff than usual because I was hanging out with you guys. So thank you so much for making October so special. It was really, really, really nice. Let's see. We're going to have like just a chill. This is kind of like the Guam vibe here when we don't have a theme month. I think this is kind of what it'll look like, at least for now. I change my mind a lot. And then in December, we will have a theme month. I'm going to get like a cool advent calendar. Maybe make our own. I don't know. I have a lot to think about. But so yeah, we will do a fun like holiday themed month for December. But for now, we're just going to chill and just do whatever we want. Thanks to all the regulars who hung around to help make this happen. Been showing a lot of love for new subbies, but regulars, I see you and I love you. Yes. Thank you to people who have been here from the beginning, and also people who are here from like other endeavors of mine, because I've always been doing creative projects, just trying stuff out, doing it for as long as I'm having fun, and then kind of moving to something else. This is definitely the one that has taken off in a way that I've hoped other things would. And I think a big piece of it is that I've been growing audiences across different things. So just this weekend, I had someone contact me who is a listener or was a listener on an old podcast that I did. And now she's, watching these videos. So shout out to her. It's just cool. It's very, very cool. Talked about being close to 10K. Speaking of being close to goals, Alex the Fiction is just about at 10K. I mean, 5K. Alex, did you hit it? Did you hit 5K today? He was like at 4,999. I'm going to check right now. He did? 5,000! Look! Alex the Fiction got 5K! Let's fucking go! Let's go. Everyone go subscribe to Alex the Fiction. He is the best. I say he is the hardest working creator in the H3 galaxy. He is just doing so much awesome stuff. And go check him out. He just did an awesome Ryan Beard cover. Let me play just like a little piece of it for you guys. It's so good. And his voice is so good. It's like, oh my God, Alex, it's so good. All right. So here he is doing the Alex Beard parody, essentially. But it's about Hasan. I'll just play a little taste and you can go get the rest of it on his channel. Make sure you subscribe to him.
October the 7th, I shocked my dog in a stream, only in a stream. I was watching the bar, she went bird in pain.
So good.
Then I lied away, but only on my stream.
All right, if you want to hear the rest of it, you got to go over to Alex's channel. So shout out Alex. 5K is well deserved. You deserve way, way more than that. So everybody, please go give a sub to our buddy Alex the Fiction. Oh, let's talk Halloween costumes. So I put up a poll. I put up little hints all week about what my costume is going to be. And I shared it yesterday, obviously, Halloween. And then some of y'all shared yours too, because I opened up the community on YouTube. You can still share, but here are some of the costumes. So first of all, here's me and my wife. Yes, we were Miss Piggy and Kermit. You will notice, yeah, that is not the wig that I showed as a hint because I left it at my effing house. I was so upset. But luckily, we were near my godmother's house, and my godmother is a fucking diva. And I knew that she would have a wig for me. So yeah, it worked out really well. And my wife is always a good sport. She's not like a huge Halloween person, but she will rock a couple's costume, right? And she got to be nice and cozy. Yeah, I was very bummed, but the red hair, I mean, it ended up working. I looked it up. Miss Piggy has had red hair before. So there's that one. This is Spooky Nene 156, who was Frank from Donnie Darko. Christine was a cake. So cute. This is Julia, Monkey D. Luffy. I'm sure you guys know who that is, but I do not. There's me without my eyebrows on the way down. I was doing my makeup in the car. I love this one. Cher from Clueless. Can y'all see the whole fit? So cute. And I love the kitty cat glasses. I have a pair of those. So I loved that one. That's Existential Dread. Shout out. Oh, God damn it. Go to my community. Newest. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see who else. Okay, this is Skylark DeVries, Sabrina Glevisig from the Witcher series. Again, no idea. No idea who that is, but I'm sure it's awesome and accurate. Black Friday by Desiree. I think that was the last one. And then this is me as a little baby with my longest friend Caitlin. She was a witch and I was a little spider. Oh, Luffy the pirate. And then there's me with straight hair. But yeah, thank you everybody. And like I said, the community tab is open on my YouTube channel. So if you want to share your costume, I would love to see it because I am a huge Halloween fan. You guys did a great job. Okay. I saw this come up before we get in because tonight our only thing that we're doing really is we're going to watch the Cruel World Happy Mind live stream and talk about it. And I told the mods I'm going to get as far as I can because if it just continues, if it's just like repetitive and I feel like I've said all I need to say, I'm going to get bored of it. And so we might end it early. But I have a couple little teeny things before we start. The first of which is, tell me if I'm wrong, but is this or is this not Love if he were a diagnosed psychopath? I feel like he looks like him. I feel like he talks like him. I don't know if he is Swedish or not, but have you guys seen this guy? I guess he's a diagnosed psychopath. And as soon as he started talking, I was like, that's Love. So here he is.
Little sister's wrong. We were playing near the family pool with a little plastic golf club. And my mom was inside the house. She was cooking something for us. And I remember there was a sunny day. And we were playing near the family pool. And at one moment, she fell into it. And I looked at her. I didn't jump into the pool.
Isn't this
I was not stressed. I was not anxious.
So Love,
my heart doesn't skip a bit. I was looking at her. And at one moment...
You're so right. This is hate. This isn't love. This is hate.
I was like, maybe I need to do something.
I was like...
So I grabbed the little plastic golf club and I gave it to her and I took her back to the ladder. At this moment, my mom ran out of the house and yelling and screaming, "Why didn't you jump into the pool? You know how to swim." And I looked at her in the eyes and I respond, "Mom, my clothes are clean." And she was shocked. She was like, "Oh my gosh, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
First of all, I don't think it's weird that a child didn't jump in the pool to save his sister because he could have also drowned. That was like my one thing as I was watching this. That doesn't feel super psychopathy to me. He helped her. But I don't know. I just got Love vibes from like the blonde beard, the accent. He does sound French, but there's just something about him that was like, he just reminds me of Love. So I like the idea that he's his evil twin, his French evil twin, Hate. Shout out to Hate. All right. The other thing, Lordy Lord. So the other thing is, well, We got a Halloween costume from Anisa and iDubbbz, which, wouldn't you know, was super shitty and kind of offensive. So here is the actual, well, why don't I just show my tweet that goes along with this since we're going to talk about that anyway. Okay. So here is the costume. This is like a terrible still of it, but I guess they were trying to be, in their words, gay trans Dobby and cunty Snape. I hate it. I hate it so much. And I said, just FYI, iDubbbz, since you're still learning empathy, here, we can see it bigger here. Being trans isn't a costume accessory. As a cishet white man, you don't get to do this even if it's to own J.K. Rowling. This is foul, and I hope this helps. So, yeah, I think that, to me, this is just proof to how silly and stupid they are. Like, this is so in poor taste. Oh, thank you. A Trauma Llama, good name. Like, J.K. Rowling's also racist, so would it have been okay if Dobby was in blackface? Like, if you were a black gay trans Dobby? Like, where's the line here? Because you're none of those things, so you don't get to make fun of those things or even use them to get at someone else. Like, that is the problem. And in all of her audacity, Anisa said that anybody who has a problem with this is a snowflake. Oh my God, y'all are the, hang on, let me make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see the whole thing. Oh my God, y'all are the whiniest snowflake baby losers in my comments. How do you ping pong between I am so at peace, I'm the happiest I've ever been, love and light, right? How do you ping pong between that and calling everybody who questions you whiny snowflake baby losers? Like, it's so obvious who the real you is. Take a joke, which is such an edgelord Republican thing to say. Can't a husband get on his knees in a bedsheet for his wife while wearing a full face of makeup without the internet crying about it? Again, you're leaving out the part that people are upset about, which is a weird thing that you tend to do, right? No one is upset that he was on his knees for his wife in makeup. They're upset that you were using a trans flag as a prop to try to antagonize a transphobe. While neither of you are trans, neither of you are gay, because you also mentioned gay trans Dobby. And now you're saying anyone who has a problem with that, probably a lot of gay people and trans people, are snowflakes for being offended by a joke you made at their expense, whether you meant it to be at their expense or not. They're snowflakes. It just sounds very right wing. It just sounds very fuck your feelings, very MAGA, Trumpy, like, God, just take a joke. If the joke was funny, would be happy to take it. You could have dressed up like J.K. Rowling. But no, you chose to make a piece of the joke the trans identity. And of course, not every gay person, not every trans person is going to think this is offensive and in poor taste, right? For me, it was more of just like an eye roll, and clearly that they were trying to do something and it failed because of their identities, right? So I'm sure that there will be gay and trans people that are like, you guys need to lighten up, right? We're not a monolith, right? We're not a monolith. But to me, the response sounds like Hasan trying to we clap back at black people.
Grape Tickler gave $4.99. I give them 3 weeks before they give up on the leftist grift and enter the right pipeline.
Listen, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong for sure. But yeah, it just sounds very much like, oh my God, shut up, black people. I don't need to talk about what you want me to talk about. I don't give a fuck about what you think, right? You're just being easily offended. It's just so Republican coded. It's so Republican coded to me. And now I will show you an effective impersonation of Dobby that wasn't in poor taste and offensive. I can't actually show it because, of course, NBC will claim me, but Bowen Yang this year did Dobby on SNL, on a week, looks like Weekly Update. Now, class, why is it not offensive and why is it actually funny when Bowen Yang does it? Why is this version of it actually funny? As a lesbian, it feels like using the queer community to own the transphobes. Exactly. I see one right answer. Bootleg. Good. War. Good. 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 See how Ethan's costume involved his own identity? Take notes. Yes. Bowen Yang isn't funny. That's objective, right? But I think, in my opinion, as a gay man, he has the right to make a character gay and do it in a more tasteful way. The joke isn't on the minorities. Exactly. It is Dobby clapping back at J.K. Rowling like he has a voice. So I can't say that I'm surprised. It's also like such a dated idea. Like how it's not even like a topical reference anymore. Like J.K. Rowling is so far off the deep end. I don't know. I feel like people are not doing this kind of reference anymore. So it felt outdated. It felt lazy, and it felt like punching down. Maybe without the purpose of that, but it did feel like punching down while trying to punch up. And that's what happens when you are not funny. When you're not a funny person, when you aren't good at comedy, that's what you end up doing. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna offend this transphobe by being offensive about gay and trans people. Right? But I guess we are all snowflakes for that. J.K. Rowling got infected by the black mold on her walls. That actually wasn't black mold. I was hoping it was, but I think it was just like the wallpaper looked really weird from what I saw. So yeah, stick to your own identities if you're going to do a costume. Like someone said, like how Ethan and Zach did the Jew-ker. It's funny when they do it. Would it be funny when Ian did it? No. Right? Pretty simple. Okay, and then the last little thing was, this is just an eye roll from Hasan, who dressed up as Superman. If you remember earlier this year, he compared himself to Superman. So here he is in his little costume, talking about how rich and cool, how much cooler and richer his dog is than actual human beings. Just like the classiest guy you've ever seen. And you can imagine it is him snapping at an audience member, which he loves to do.
What about your dog?
Maddening,
Brother, I can't stress this enough. And I need you to understand something, because I know I bit the bait for one person, and then I think like a Discord server was alerted somewhere because everyone started posting this. Kaya lives a better life than you ever will have.
Is that like a cool socialist thing as a millionaire to say that my dog lives better than you ever will? I feel like that's a really... Oh, I know. I'm going to play the rest of it, but I just want to stop for a second and say like that is literally the comparison he's making, and it's one that Taylor Lorenz has made too, you know, famed Marxist journalist Taylor Lorenz, where they're just dunking on people who are poor, who are broke, and saying, "Oh, my fucking dog lives better than you." So classy.
Okay, she's a better animal than you. She's a much more important for many other people's lives than you.
She's a more important animal than you. She's more important to other people's lives. Is he talking about like his fans? Fans love my dog, so she's more important than you. She adds real value and you don't. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Okay? You are going to die alone. Because this is the type of shit you get up to on the internet. You spend the finite amount of time you have doing this kind of stuff on the internet. Okay?
Hasan, you love when people do die alone activities as long as they are targeting people you don't like. Like, you are literally fostering this behavior in your own audience. And this very well might be one of your fans. And you're telling them they're going to die alone, that they're worthless, that your dog lives a better life than them as a human, which is honestly probably true because of the state of economics and the market and everything that's going wrong in the US. Seems like a really horrible time to brag about this kind of thing, right? About how rich your dog is. Like, my dog eats better food than you ever will. Socialist hero, Hasan Piker, everyone.
You can type ah ha 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 all day, every day, and act as though you're totally not mad right now.
Sounds like projection, Hasan. You can act like you're not mad all you want, but you're definitely fucking mad. Just like Hasan didn't take the bait here, which he clearly did.
But the reality...
Are people losing their food stamps? No. Well, hopefully not, because a federal judge ruled that Trump has to use the emergency SNAP funding that has already been paid for by our taxes. He wasn't going to do it. And the Republicans voted against funding SNAP during the shutdown. But a federal judge has ruled that he cannot hoard that money, that he has to spend that money, the emergency fund, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. It's still stressing people out, and there are still, tens of thousands of federal employees, maybe more, out of work right now, getting no paychecks. Not even out of work, just working for no money, with no guarantee of back pay, even in the military. Like, I have multiple friends that have 1 or 0 incomes right now because of this shutdown. And a reminder that the shutdown is because the Republicans don't want to come back in session and have to confirm a Democrat out of New Mexico, because that would give Congress enough votes to release the Epstein files. That's what this is all about. So yeah, you get that. He's basically saying, "Oh, you're so irrelevant. My dog's so much richer than you. Like, my animal lives a better life than you ever will, you fucking poor loser." This is the socialist that people want you to line up behind. Look how quickly he goes to, "I'm richer than you." Cool class consciousness, bro. Arizona. Oh, I thought she was New Mexico. Okay, thank you. Adelita, okay. Thank you. Why did I think it was New Mexico? Oh, they're right next to each other. So yeah. Again, I say, you can be a leftist and think Hasan Piker sucks. In my opinion, you aren't a great leftist if you follow Hasan Piker. Because I don't know how you sit there in this chat and listen to him degrade a person who makes less money than him, who is probably working class, and think, yeah, I'm just gonna keep lining up behind this guy. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. You're not a lib if you hate Hasan Piker. You just have a fucking soul. Okay, so let's get into the Cruel World Happy Mind stuff. It feels like it happened so long ago. Like the internet moves so fast. I wasn't even going to talk about this stuff, but people kept asking me to. And so here we are. So since we last talked about Madison Harnish, I believe her name is, she put out a live stream. She went live and talked for like an hour and a half about stuff. We're going to watch that. She also edited her video. She took like 3 to 5 seconds out of her video, and it was the bit about Ethan being programmed since birth to love Israel or have Israeli values because he's Jewish. That's the only thing that she has really retracted or apologized for at this point. So here is what she had to say about that after people noticed. In my most recent video, I filmed everything in one take. Well, that wasn't very smart of you. Through that, and again, that's just like pandering to people that just want like ultimate transparency and who are going to take what you do and say wrong no matter what. Like, you're just pandering to the wrong people. So just do the video with cuts. If people think you're not being genuine, they're foolish. Through that, I said something that I feel has become more than what I intended. I said Ethan has been programmed from birth. Programmed from birth to do what, Madison? This has led people to draw the worst conclusions about my statement. Call me the worst things. I am truly sorry. I deleted this sentence because that was not my intention. Okay. What was your intention? I'm going back to my usual content now with a lot of lessons learned. I think a lot of the situation was needed for me to be able to grow as a content creator. You know, I just love that sentiment. I've had that said to me. My cat's walking behind my screen, excuse me. I've had that said to me by an abuser before. Well, I really needed to go through abusing you in order to grow as a person. And I learned so many lessons, you know, I am so grateful to have had that experience of treating you like shit. And that's what this feels like on like a smaller scale, right? Like on a micro scale of her just being like, wow, so many lessons were learned, slandering Ethan Klein for 3.5 hours. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I am glad she's going back to whatever her regular content is because she's not built for this. Maybe someday, maybe she'll build up the thick skin she needs and like the actual like knowledge base to make like opinion videos where she doesn't backtrack every 5 seconds, but it's not right now. Thank you so much to everyone who's been supportive and kindly offering constructive comments so I can always grow as well. That is always the goal too. I mean, it's just more of the hand wringing, right? Remove the video then. She's clearly not sorry for any of the other stuff. Why would she remove it? She likes the other stuff. That's why she didn't cut any of the rest of it out. I feel like I'm still a little blue here. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's all that she cared about removing. And again, yeah, she tends to do things and apologize for things when she's harassed and bullied into it, which is why she made the first apology to people like Bad Empanada. She hasn't retracted anything about him except she took his name out of the apology video. The apology video is now like to Ethan Klein and whoever the fuck else, but she took his name out of it. Let me see if I can get to it. Which is just crazy. She apologizes to him and then yeah, here it is. I messed up to you, Hasan, and Ethan Klein. Why even put Ethan in the title? You did not apologize to him. You don't think you messed up at all. I think the only reason you apologized about the program since birth thing is because people were pointing it out as being fucking anti-Semitic. And you would rather... You say things you don't mean, right? Which is definitely why you should cut your videos. Or you were just going to float that. You didn't have a problem with it until people confronted you about it. And that's what I'm talking about with these younger women. It's like, if you say what you mean and you mean what you say, then when someone is pissed at you about it, you don't have to backtrack because you meant what you said. Why did you say Ethan has been programmed since birth to love Israel because he's a Jew if that's not what you meant? Where did that come from? Why did you say it? I'm sorry it made me look bad. Exactly, Alex. It's a very juvenile sense of morality. Like there's this hierarchy of morality, and I think I've talked about it on here a few times because it really stood out to me when I learned about it, where it's like rungs on a ladder, and like there's different rungs, and like one of the lowest ones is I apologize for things because I don't want to get in trouble. It's not, and as you get further up, it's I apologize because I feel bad, or you know what I mean? Like as you get higher up into like the moral hierarchy. But down here is I apologize for things because I don't want to get in trouble. Not that I feel bad, I just don't want to be in trouble. And in trouble here is like being called a genocide supporter for just, you know, not saying exactly what these people want her to say. It's garbage. She just covers trending topics for the AdSense. She should admit it. And that's the other thing. And I said that in my last video, like, girl, go ahead and juice. Juice if you want to. Like, that's what we do here, right? But know your opinion about it at least and stand firm in it. Don't do this whole I'm concerned for Ethan's mental state. Don't do that. Just say you fucking hate him. Say you think that he's dangerous, right? Okay, let's watch the stream. Like I said, well, first of all, stealing a button screen idea. Like I said, this might not last as long as I'd like because it might just annoy the fuck out of me, but we'll see. So here we go. Thanks everyone for being here. Make sure you subscribe if you're having fun. All right, like this is a cold watch. I don't usually do this, but I was away. Didn't have time to watch this whole thing. So here we go. I can skip through her like hemming and hawing at first, where she's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Grown woman, 25 plus years old. Brother or husband, you decide.
This is my first time streaming.
We can tell.
Yeah, first time streaming.
Okay.
I'm kind of on a delay, which is the dog.
That's the other thing. It's like there's just so many apologies, and you know, you guys saw my other video about stop apologizing. Like, just stop making excuses. It just weakens your point. It just weakens your point.
Doc and everything to go over just all of my feelings after Ethan's stream. I do think that ego can play a hand when it comes to content creation, and I think that there is a lot that I'm not perfect at and that I need to work at and change and grow and learn from. Yeah, so I'm gonna get into the doc and go over it all. I'm also not going to censor the live stream just because I think that everyone has a chance to say what they want to say. Yeah. I also really appreciate all of the support that I have been getting.
How would she censor the live stream? Like, limit the comment, like the kinds of comments she's getting? I don't understand what she means by censoring the live stream there.
Critical comments that are really valid, I appreciate those too. So I'm going to go into the doc that I made, since I think that'll help me be a little bit more concise in what I want to say than just rambling on.
She's so nervous.
Okay, we got this. I'm also a little off frame. Sorry for that. I want to keep the chat, but it always kind of disappears since I'm on two screens. Okay, let's see if that worked.
Oh yeah. This is what we call just clearing the throat, right? Like just get to the point. Stop clearing your throat and just get to the point.
Okay, so sorry if I'm reading the screen as I'm going. This is also just my thoughts put onto a page. So I do want to say this is definitely the lowest that I've felt as a content creator when Ethan, did his stream. But I think that
you're not a victim here, sweetie. Like you're not a victim of this, right? Like this is very Taylor Lorenz coded. You stepped into this. You made yourself an expert of something, right? You should know. You should have known what was going to happen, which was there was going to be a response. You don't just get to make a 3.5 hour smear job about somebody, slandering them, and have no response, like get no response. So for you to have been so shocked that this was like a low for you tells me that you were not as prepared as you claim to have been stepping into this ring, right? That's what it feels like. And I'm going to be critical of her, right? And I see white women. Yes, this is very white woman coded, right? Where she's making herself the victim. I'm going to be constructively critical during this stream. I gotta go, pretty penis. Oh, great.
Alex_the_fiction
Thank you,
gave
Alex.
$2. Kate, stop harassing her.
So everybody be cool in the comments. Let's keep things constructive, right? I'm sorry for the brother-husband joke. I love a brother-husband joke. But in general, I'm going to keep things critical, like constructively critical. This is not a time to harass her. She clearly has learned her lesson, but I think there is a lot for us to learn watching this and breaking it down. Okay? Mods, you know what to do if people are being stupid in the comments. Yeah, DJ, I had to put those two, that combo together of the GIF and the soundbite. Okay, here we go.
that sometimes that's a good thing, you can kind of have a reality check. I think everyone does need a reality check. Yesterday, Ethan did a live stream about me and definitely had a lot to say. Some things I do think are valid. Others I think went a little bit too far. But when it comes to online creator beef, but I also
Do you think calling Hila a pedophile went too far? Because you didn't take that out of your video. Also, we didn't need to see all this. Like, we would rather just have you like full screen for this.
also agree. I think some of when it comes to some of my own statements being seen as going too far as well. So I'm making this video for my own integrity as a content creator, or rather live stream. First, I really want to thank all of the support from people who have sent really kind and thoughtful messages, comments, and have been there for me. These past few days have not been easy. Sorry, I hate when people cry in live streams or videos, so I really try not to do that. But I do think it's been really necessary for me in order to grow as a content creator and see where my own flaws are as a person.
If only there were a way to grow as a person without stepping in it the way you did for 3.5 hours. Like, I don't understand why you needed this to understand exactly what was going to happen. Like, maybe because of the content you've made in the past, you did not anticipate this. But if you were doing weeks and weeks of research about Ethan, I don't understand why you would get into this if you knew that you couldn't handle confrontation. Because that's essentially what this is. This is confrontation that she's backing away from after she started it, right? Like someone said in the comments, he didn't make a video about her. He made a video responding to her. This was not out of nowhere. This was on the heels of her calling him essentially like brainwashed by Israel, calling his wife a pedophile in so many words. accusing them both of fraud, of financial fraud, among many other things. I don't understand what bubble you're in that you didn't expect somebody to be mad about that. Like, I think I know what the bubble is, and we'll talk about that at the end. But I am hoping that bubble has burst. I am not confident, though, because if you only took 3 seconds out of that video, I don't think you've really learned a lesson at all. But let's keep going.
And creator. I think that even when people say it's probably not a good idea to do this live stream, you're probably right. And I think that my ego, I got way too overambitious in tackling concepts that a lot of people, were overambitious in tackling. And so I completely agree with that.
You weren't overambitious. Okay. It would be overambitious if you committed to doing this, had a deadline, and then had to like bullshit stuff at the last minute because that deadline was coming. You set the timeline for this yourself. So what exactly was too ambitious? The second half of the research that you didn't do? It was too ambitious to fact check everything you did? Did the video need to be as long as it was if you weren't going to do that? She said that a couple times, like, it was just too ambitious to tackle all of this stuff. But nowhere is she like, wow, I really got stuff wrong so far. But maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Like I said, this is the first time I'm seeing this.
Yeah, and so that's kind of why I'm making this live stream. I think that as content creators, it's like you tackle one topic and the reception is good, and then you tackle another topic and the reception is good, and you think that you can just kind of keep going and going and going. And it's sort of like, again, I love the analogy of Icarus, and I think that that sort of applies to me as well. I sort of shot up to, the sun and thought, oh, I can tackle anything. And I'm not an expert. I'm not, when it comes to these really complex issues, there's a reason why even people who have, master's degrees are fighting over it and arguing over it and can't quite come to a common consensus. So why would I think I can tackle the issues?
Now, is she talking about Israel-Palestine here? Because that's okay. I'm not even going to wait till the end of this because I think she keeps talking about she was too ambitious to pick talking about Israel-Palestine. But girl, you were not talking about Israel-Palestine. Like, you have been duped into thinking shitting on Ethan Klein is activism and that it is criticism of Israel, that it is helpful to the people in Gaza. It's not. It just isn't. Like, nothing is better because of the videos that you've put out. Yes, it would have been too ambitious for you to have sat there and said, let me talk to you about the history of Israel-Palestine. But that's not what you did. Like, you have been, you have been conditioned to believe that this is this is a valid way and a useful way to fight for the people of Palestine. So your perception of what you were doing is so warped, and there's like a delusion of grandeur to it, where you think that you were being some sort of a hero fighting for Palestine. You barely mentioned Israel-Palestine, which is fine because you're right that that's not your expertise and that people have been fighting about this for centuries, right? But that's not what you were doing. Like, you made a slap video. It's not like this principled take. You made a slap video that helps nobody. I don't know why that was. So that's why when she says ambitious, like it was too ambitious. I think she's talking about Israel Palestine. It's like, girl, that's not what this video is about. You have been duped. What you did here did not help anybody in Gaza at all. It helped nothing. It helped nothing. All it did was focus on you. It just put focus on you and not on this cause you seem to care about. Do a 3-hour video about Gaza if you care. You're tilting at windmills here. Ethan Klein is like the latest windmill.
Yeah, so that's my feelings on the matter. Yeah, I can't change what other people do, but I can change what I do and my own reactions to things, and that's what I intend to do as a content creator from this situation. Though a lot of the comments have been really intense, I think underlying a lot of them have been some valid criticisms, whatever side anyone's on, you know, that I can take in and grow from. And
we love the both sides, don't we, Volk? And I hope we get to hear the criticisms that you think are valid on the side of Ethan Klein and people who like his content and know that he's not a genocidal maniac. I can't wait to hear the specifics. Can't wait. Because you gave Bad Empanada a lot of time.
Yeah, others that have been going a little bit too far, of course. A lot of people have cautioned me not to make the video on H3, to not do any of this. And I absolutely think I was being overambitious, and see now why so many content creators shy away from this topic. Never in a million years did I think that it would get to this point.
Again, you are not, there is no way that she is being harassed in the same way by H3 fans and H3 snarkers. We have seen the way H3 snarkers move. We have seen just from the Bad Empanada email the way that they are treating her. Like she's a fucking idiot. But she refuses to say where the majority of the harassment is coming from, right? And like the highest volume criticism, harassment is coming from, right? Everything is both sides. She's just both sidesing everything.
And that being said, I do think, as I've said, it showed a lot of flaws in myself as a creator. Bottom line, you know, if a video I make doesn't accomplish the goals that I set out to do, I've failed as a content creator, you know.
What was your goal? What was the goal of this video? I feel like she would say the goal is to like reach H3 fans. So we see that he's actually like an Israeli plant or something. I really don't know. Like she keeps talking about how she's trying to be helpful. But what was the goal? I think if we're honest with ourselves, Madison, your goal was to juice. The goal was to juice. The goal was to pile onto Ethan because you have been hoodwinked into thinking that attacking Ethan Klein is enough activism to get you off the hook and to keep you from being harassed. But don't you want a fan base that doesn't hold you hostage? Like, it seems like even in this video, you are so worried about what the Hasan fans, the H3 snark communities are going to say about you. Why do you want a fan base like that? Unless you think that you deserve to be abused. Right? Like, yeah, I guess I earned that. Girl. Random strangers should not be harassing you like that. This is going to take forever.
I do think that I'll keep the video up as a marker to like of a point in time so that I can get better, you know, and just try and get better.
Yeah, just leave up all those lies. That's a really, really, Madison, that's a really bad idea. I mean, I would unlist it if I were in your position, knowing not even just how like the warpath that Ethan is on right now against people slandering him, which he has the right to do. But he has literally said multiple times that he is considering suing you. I don't think leaving this up and continuing to double down on agreeing with yourself and the claims that you made against him is smart for your own career, your own financial security. I don't think it is. Like, it's not, like, if you just unlist it, it's not spoliation of evidence, right? You still have a copy of it. Don't delete it. Definitely don't delete it. But if it's up, it's just exposing more people to the lies that you put out. Which, by the way, the anti-Ethan people still cannot say what she got right. What did she get right? What is she not lying about? This is more than a learning lesson for you if you are not careful. I think that removing this from the public eye would probably show good faith in that you don't want to cause undue harm. This is just an opinion from me. I would be shitting my pants if Ethan said he wanted to sue me. Yeah, me too. But we will never have to shit our pants because we don't defame people. We check our sources. We say allegedly. We make sure that we aren't putting out claims that have been disproven 100 times over. She didn't watch any of those H3 videos during her research. Absolutely not. Even though she puts right in the beginning the clip of Ethan being like, I'm crazier than you are by a lot. And she has clips from the content nuke, right? So you're being naive. You're being naive about something that is really serious, which is defamation and slander. I am almost 15 years older than her, I think. Madison, I am talking to you as your elder. Stop worrying about what these people are going to think about you and start protecting yourself, because these people are not going to protect you. They are not going to protect your future, your family, right? Stop worrying about random chatters and their opinions about how uncool or cool you are, how anti-genocide you are. Know in your heart that you are anti-genocide. Work in real life to eradicate genocide and protect yourself on the internet from defaming people and slandering people. Please take my advice. The snarkers are not going to cape for you, and even if they do, that means nothing. They cannot safeguard your
She's so funny.
your bank account.
Who just gave $1.99.
Hi, Kristen.
Hey, Guamily. Raised hand emoji. Raised fist emoji. Raised hand emoji. Raised fist emoji. Raised hand emoji. Raised fist emoji.
Thanks, girly. Yeah, this is they're gaslighting her. They just like the mods that were getting sued. They were like, double down, don't tell him anything. It's like, where are you saying this stuff? Are you gainfully employed, independently wealthy, giving this information, this advice to people? Protect yourself. It doesn't matter what these slugs on the internet think, myself included. protect yourself. Cover your ass. I can't imagine you've never been in a situation like this before. But it seems like nobody is giving you good advice, or you're not listening to those people. But stop worrying what snarkers think about you, because I would hate to know what they think about themselves. And take care of yourself. That video should not be left up for you to learn more lessons. Because I feel like the longer it's up, the more people are going to watch it, and that's not going to be good for you. Please protect yourself. For fuck's sake. Oy vey. Do people not talk to... Never mind. I was going to say, like, do people not talk to their parents? But I don't know what her situation is, right? But, like, my parents would be like, fuck all of those internet people. They don't know you. They don't care about you. You right now are a pawn to them. You are a piece on the board that they can use. You are a cudgel to get under Ethan Klein's skin. Of course, they're going to tell you to keep going, to stay strong, to keep the video up because you're speaking truth to power. You're literally lying in the video. Please take it down for your own sake. She won't listen to me.
I do think that there are some good points worth mentioning. I also think that if Ethan was going to sue me for defamation, I'm sure he already has the clips that he wants to do so anyways.
That doesn't make a difference. The thing is, you can show good faith and contrition by taking down the video, which might help. Instead of exacerbating it by continuing to talk about it and draw attention to it and double down on it in your apologies to everyone except him and his wife, who, by the way, you insinuated is a pedophile. And as an ex-Mormon, to be assuming anybody is a fucking pedophile, Not your place. Not your place. Sorry, I'm getting heated. Let's keep going.
I also and like, I
think just silently deleting is probably a bad look. I don't want her to silently delete. I think that she should apologize and say that she has unlisted it. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but this is like older person advice to you. Keeping up this video does nothing to improve your morality, to improve the way you feel about Israel-Palestine. We know you think it's a genocide. It is a genocide, right? Just because these turds on the internet think you're not doing enough, it doesn't matter. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot like all of these other women, and it is so frustrating to watch.
Here's the thing. I think that in Ethan's stream, there are some things that were valid points. And he tried to detract from that by saying that all of the things that I used were from a snark Reddit. That was not the case. That's not how I do my research. I don't just go entirely into a snark subreddit and just look at snark subreddit. And that's the only way I get my research.
Show us her sources.
That's not what I do. You know, and I'm going to discuss that and go further on to that, which, you know.
I think she's leaving it up because she knows if she takes it down, the cool people, aka the people abusing her, are going to be mad at her and they're going to turn on her and it's going to be worse for her. And she is not, at this point in her life, built for confrontation. So why on earth would you step into this situation if you are not built for confrontation? It's a fool's errand.
My entire script is linked in this so that you can also look at exactly where I get all my sources.
Oh, that's interesting.
And beyond. But, you know, so because of that, you know, in Ethan's stream, sure, there's some valid points that I'm going to really look at, you know, not saying that
Oh, shit. What happened? Hang on one sec. I accidentally muted this site. I was trying to unmute my other tab. All right, there you go.
All of that. But I don't think that he cherry picked some information and all of that. But I also think that there's things that, like I said, he cherry picked, things that he took way too far. And a lot of things that
You literally said, I don't think he cherry picked, but there were things that he cherry picked.
I think are clipped out of context from my
brother.
video to make my content look bad, to try and shame my content so that no one would look at it in a critical eye and view the entire content. If you're an H3 fan, I highly encourage you to watch the entire video, to look at my my script entirely, to read all of the sources and come to your own conclusion.
I did that. And your sources are bullshit. Your sources are bullshit. Your sources are bullshit, and you were literally trotting out extremely old accusations that have been disproven, that people have apologized for, accusing Ethan and Hila of. And if you're going to sit there and say that most of your shit wasn't from Snark, I mean, you were stealing animations from iDubbbz's video. You had graphics in there, like side by side, the side by side of Hila and the person in like the silver recovery blanket, straight off of Snark. You accused us of being in an MLM cult. Where was the source for that? Exactly, Grape Tickler. Stole edits from H3 Lore. The sources are bad, and then what you did with them, the way you manipulated and framed the sources made them even worse. You wanted people to watch this critically. That's what we did. And now, like Taylor Lorenz, you're telling us not to believe our eyes. Best believe I'm going to be trotting out these sources. Go ahead, Madison.
Yeah. Not look at my or Ethan's take, you know. In this stream, I'm going to address a few key points of criticism, though. The first point I want to address is, of course, the plug in the background of the video. My kitchen has been getting remodeled.
No one cares about the fucking plug.
Or my mouse froze. Okay, there we go. Also, I was not in any way intending to like apologize to Bad Empanada.
You said in the title of your video, I messed up to Bad Empanada, Hasan Piker, and Ethan Klein. And then you read his email uncritically and said that what he was accusing you of was not your intention. That is an apology. That's an apology, girl. And you apologize because you're scared of him. Why are you apologizing to people you are scared of? Why are you taking them at face value? Why are you respecting the opinion of people who are going out of their way to abuse and intimidate you? You don't need to live like this.
Him in the video to show the weird messages and emails I'd been receiving that were coming from a lot of different sides.
So weird that you say you were getting them from a lot of different sides when the only side that was sending you weird shit like that you felt was enough to show was from Bad Empanada. Decidedly not the H3 community. And again, you're revising history by saying, wow, guys, look at this weird email I got. You literally read the email and then apologized for your mistake. I wasn't intending to say that you came up with the whole thing. That was not you reading something to show the breadth of harassment that was happening. You literally called him out in the title of the video to make sure he knew that you were correcting the record about him.
Yeah. I personally apologize if it even came across in that way.
Just stop
And I'm
apologizing.
confused why it would come across like I was siding with him. But yeah, my main points to Bad Empanada
God, girl.
was that I don't think it's appropriate to speculate on who sent CPS to Ethan Klein. I don't think it's appropriate for me to speculate.
But you did. You speculated about CPS. You speculated about the skulls to the point that you tried to validate a very stupid conspiracy theory of saying, hey, it's 50-50. Maybe the skulls got sent by some psychopath. Maybe they sent them to themselves. This is what I mean by you weren't just looking at the sources, you were like validating them as truth. Because I could do a video and use H3 Snark as a source. But I guarantee my framing of that stuff would be very different. Because I would not be taking the garbage that they say at face value. Because the thing is, even they know they're lying, but they don't care because they hate Ethan. And they think that getting him off the internet will somehow stop a genocide. They know that they are lying. They know that Ethan is not a bad parent. They know that the kids were not eating shit. They know that the skulls were not mailed by Ethan and Hila. But it's just this echo chamber of confirmation bias where they have all just bought into the hive mind of by any means necessary. No bad tactics, only bad targets. They are being dishonest. And they are already treating you like shit. So why are you cowering to them? 50-50, maybe Tylenol invented autism. Exactly. What do you guys think? Throwing it back to you. You don't need to validate every point of view. Some of them are demented.
Who sent CPS and
I don't know
who sent the skulls. I also think that the document that Ethan showcased in his live, which was that from a Reddit post, the document for the school situation.
The document for the school situation? Oh, the skull situation. It wasn't from a Reddit post. He said it's public record. And if you think if you're taking so much on Reddit as face value, why isn't this email, if it happens to also be posted to Reddit, a valid source? It's not on me to speculate about the fucking skulls, but did that email seem weird to anybody else? Like, what are you doing? It was from Court Listener. Thank you. This doesn't make any sense to me. First, everything that H3 Snark says, or Leftovers H3 says, is gospel. But then if the Skulls email is cross-posted from Court Listener, a valid, real source, if it's cross-posted to Reddit, I don't know. But yeah, let's not speculate about the skulls, but I don't know about that email. Just stop with the hedging. If you hate Ethan and you think he's full of shit, you think he sent the skulls to himself, you think he's like shoveling dog shit into his kids' mouths, stop acting like you are unbiased. Stop acting like you're objective. Just say that you hate his guts and keep it pushing. To that degree, I don't respect Bad Empanada, but I get him. I'm like, okay, he fucking hates Ethan. He's not trying to hide it in all of this like fake morality. And maybe that's like why women are doing this more than the men. Because they're still trying to have that like outward appearance of being altruistic and doing things for the right reasons instead of it just being like, I fucking hate this person. I think that's why a lot of these women are getting hemmed up more than men. Fucking crazy shit, man.
Showing that the museum verified the skulls being sent by a VPN, the price, etc. I don't know if that would completely absolve anyone.
This is speculation, Madison. This is you speculating about the skulls that you said you shouldn't be doing. This is you speculating. I am genuinely worried about the public school system in specifically Utah, if that's where she is, or public education in general across the country, because she's like, what, 15 years behind me? This is so embarrassing. Like, do you not know what speculation means?
And that's sort of the reason why I also didn't showcase that. It sort of gets into the weeds of who done it, which is
You're doing it now. What do you mean you didn't show it? You are talking about it now. You are discrediting something that was on courtlistener.com. Again, something you could have researched for this video. If you put it in your script, there's no links in your script. There's nothing that you've shown that you are checking on, right? You came into this saying that Ethan went too far on things and that he cherry picked things. Okay, show us where you were telling the truth. Show us where you were telling the truth. This is not it. I'm not going to speculate about the skulls. Goes on to speculate for like 10 minutes.
which is not something that I think it's appropriate for me to speculate on fully. I think that
but I'm
going
to keep doing it.
Again, want me to take sides in my video, take sides on speculating on who done it. And I didn't want to get in the thick of that. That was sort of
Then don't. Oh my God, this is crazy.
essentially what my goal was. I wanted to showcase what happened, but not speculate, because that just feels like I'm getting into the weeds of this very bizarre internet drama.
Here's how you showcase without speculating. On such and such a date, Ethan and Hila went on their show to say, direct source, right? From the actual H3 podcast, went on their show to say that someone had called CPS. In the following X weeks, they went on the show again to say that CPS had showed up at their house and had to do all this stuff. And then weeks later, they showed a message that was posted on Court Listener as public record that said that the findings were unfounded or whatever it is. That's showcasing the situation. That is showing what you actually know. It becomes speculation when you are farming for conspiracy theories on a snark subreddit. When you're starting to say some people think they sent it to themselves. That's not a reliable primary source. That is speculation. They are literally speculating, and then you are giving credence to it by putting it out to your 600,000 plus followers. Jesus fucking Christ.
But I can see how essentially it feels like I'm just sort of showcasing these posts and then avoiding it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, girl.
Again, I just
you
feel
are not
like
ready for this.
I try to avoid speculation, but
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You don't avoid
personally,
it.
that being said, I personally don't think Ethan Klein sent himself human skulls. I don't, which is why.
Hey, should have said that and just ended this segment. Should have just said that and ended this segment instead of burying it in all this other shit. Have an opinion and stand on it. Because let me tell you right now, this is who you sound like.
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world
This is
map.
all I can hear.
Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and
everywhere.
I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Lopez is like, holy shit. That's what you sound like. I personally believe, and then you just say nothing. Maybe she did pageants. I don't know.
I didn't mention that in my video, and I don't think in my follow-up video people
that's so interesting. You didn't mention it in either of your two videos that you personally do not believe he sent the skulls to himself. Why didn't you do that? Because you knew you would get fucking dragged for that. And not by the people you keep blaming.
Draw that conclusion either if they watched through the full thing. If anyone did think that, I greatly apologize.
Stop acting like people are stupid for not assuming that you believed that he sent them to himself. You offered it as like a logical opinion on the situation, and you never came to any conclusion yourself. How is this? What are you adding to the conversation if you are not making declarative statements yourself? She presented it as, she literally did present it as 50-50. Some people think maybe he sent it to himself. I don't know. It's even. He definitely could have sent it to himself. What an insane thing to think somebody would do.
As far as not knowing the extent of who Bad Empanada is or Bad Empanada, I knew of, which I do mispronounce a lot of things in my videos, which I...
Yeah, this person has almost 700,000 subs. Let's get me to 10K. Because I actually have opinions. Ethan and Hila did not send the skulls to themselves. Ethan and Hila are great parents. Ethan and Hila did not kill their dog with cheese. And Mormons and ex-Mormons should not be accusing anyone of being pedophiles. Clean up your own side of the street.
I will try to get better at. I knew of him through watching Ethan's podcast in preparation for this video only. I knew that he had been involved in the speculation regarding Ethan's children contracting Giardia, just through, talking about the skulls, etc.
They're not, those two things are not related.
Saw that he had streamed with denims in the clip that I put into the video, and I felt like that was enough context for the situation at hand. I knew that he was involved in this online beef drama. I had seen videos from Ethan's podcasts themselves, not...
I do not believe, and I will happily take this back. I do not believe that this woman actually watched a full episode of H3. I do not believe that the clips she watched were actually from the primary source. Based on the way that she has interpreted them, it seems to me that all of them have been framed through certain subreddits. If I'm wrong, and I will apologize for that. But see, Madison, that is a declarative sentence. I do not believe that you actually watched much of H3 directly at all, which is such an interesting choice. Because if you were really interested in being objective, I am certain that you could find the same clips on the H3 subreddit and Leftovers H3, and they would be framed very differently. given the bias that was so glaring in your entire 3.5 hour stink piece, I don't believe you actually watched watched H3 as the primary source at any point.
From online subreddit drama, to sort of know that he was involved in this sort of beef that Ethan was having online.
I should go up to 1.2 or some shit.
Look into Bad Empanada and his personal pages and everything, because again, it felt like I was going on this weird rabbit hole tangent that I didn't want to go down. It felt very toxic,
yes,
you know.
Bitch, yes. Thanks, Bree Daddy. Madison, that is research. Rabbit holes is research. It is very clear that you did not go down any rabbit holes. At least not any that weren't confirming your existing bias. If you had gone down Bad Empanada's rabbit hole, you might have a different opinion about what has been happening. It's very interesting, the stuff you decided to just skim the surface on and the things you decided to drill down on. Like, did we need a 5-minute segment on how Hila dresses like a child and that maybe that means she is a pedophile? Why do we have multiple screenshots of that in this video? Maybe you could have dug a little deeper on the people who have been targeting Ethan and Hila and the rest of the crew. But no, that's a bridge too far for a fucking feature film length criticism video.
Again, I feel like that's kind of what it can feel like sometimes when it comes to Ethan Klein and then Bad Empanada and a lot of these sort of, different online experiences. And maybe people who are fans of Ethan's are more familiar with all of this, where it's very toxic online threads that can lead you down a very dark rabbit hole. And I wanted to cover, the broad view expanse of his career. But if Bad Empanada is a huge part of his career
You didn't cover, you lied. Like, you were lying about like every milestone of Ethan and Hila's careers. Like, did you really think that what you were saying was unbiased? Did you really think that you were just giving the facts? Or are you just like fully lying right now? I don't know which one's more concerning. Genuinely.
Is massively missing out on. I greatly apologize. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I felt like the amount that I knew about Bad Empanada was enough context for the situations at hand. That also is because I'm not super involved in subreddit groups or online niche spaces that are very familiar with the guy. But after this situation, I was certainly caught up enough to know that honestly, I don't want anything to do with Bad Empanada.
Smart, very smart.
No, thank you.
Now,
that brings me to...
Can we take that one step further? Is she going to take it one step further? Oh, no, of course not. She can't use like the transitive property to be like, hey, maybe if this fucking psychopath agrees with all of the sources I have and is being platformed by people who agree about Ethan Klein, maybe there's like some wiggle room here, and maybe they aren't telling the full truth, and maybe they are not being good people. How is that not the next step? Like, wow, I have now been harassed by Bad Empanada. I know how that feels, and I know how innocent I am and how I have not done something wrong. But I'm not going to take down a video that continues to perpetuate his opinion.
I need the money.
Oh, thank you, Clay.
More Chex Mix.
Clay Bentrice Jr. gave $2. Nicholas DeOrio can make better
And he
videos
does.
than this.
And he does. That's my brother husband. Shout out. But like, how do we not take it that one step further of that's empathy, right? The empathy isn't just, oh, Ethan's crazy, so I feel bad for him. It's, this is happening to Ethan, and it has happened to me now. Maybe this is a bad person, and maybe the things that they believe that are being perpetuated by the snark subreddits aren't accurate. Because I know now personally how I was treated by both Bad Empanada and these other people that were dragging her for word choice, right? Semantic abuse. Let's get to the next step of the empathy. Like, wow, Ethan and I have this in common. We have both been harassed by the same person. But no, she just wants to talk about, actually, I sourced from not just the subreddit.
Which is the claim that I just sourced my video from subreddits. Firstly, I utilized the H3 Snark subreddit, which was accidentally used in a photo when I was referencing the H3 podcast subreddit. And that was an error I did not catch beforehand.
Okay, no one cares
Usually
about
I
that.
catch like, oh, that was a wrong photo used.
Blah,
but the
blah,
reason
blah, blah, blah.
pages, and that there's an ongoing litigation, which, disclaimer, I'm not extensively versed on the details of this ongoing litigation.
How are you going to cover what's happening with Ethan Klein and the subreddit you are using for most of your information if you don't understand what the litigation is about? What research did you actually do? If you don't know about Bad Empanada, if you don't know about the lawsuit, these are two very current things. But you spent how much time on the FUPA fund from like 8 years ago that was disproven? And one of the only declarative sentences you had in that whole video was, maybe he should have kept it open for other and replenished it. Like, that was your main commentary, was about something that happened 8 years ago. How are you going to go into this without knowing the current facts? Research is using sort by most popular on the snark sub. That is sadly what it feels like.
But whenever that's the case, it does spark my curiosity. Why is someone suing a snark page? What are they afraid of? Especially
that is a terrible way. That is Taylor Lorenz journalism. The first question is great. Why are they suing a subreddit? The second question is biased. What are they afraid of? You're assuming that the person suing is in the wrong. Just start with, why are they suing? The second question is biased. That is why everything you're doing it's a fucking lie. What is he afraid of? What an insane, like, that the framing of that is just, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense of the way that you framed this and then backed into an introduction to this.
Because a lot of creators are much bigger and have a much larger following than these snark subreddits. The same could be said with content crash out. I found Ethan's Boston bombing video, which was deleted elsewhere on the snark pages. His compilation of slurs, many of the things that were completely deleted off of other, online pages, could be found on these subreddits. So that's why I source them. Oftentimes, when things are deleted elsewhere on social media, I'll be able to find them on subreddits.
Okay, is that the only stuff that you sourced from H3 Snark? Is that it? Just deleted content?
So I did
50 plus links to Snark in her script. Okay.
Utilize these pages for that purpose.
Thank you,
is why
Anioma.
I do think Reddit can be a good source sometimes. The H3 podcast subreddit is also a good source for that as well. They'll have clips of things that have been deleted online, and you can find a sort of, it's like an archival site at times.
Yeah, we understand what Reddit is. And you're right that it is a good place to start, but it's not the place to end. And it's not a place to go when you have a bias in your mind, because your bias will be confirmed, because there are subreddits for everything. What was Ethan hiding when he sued these creators? Of course, you're gonna stumble into speculation land, right? From people who fucking hate him. Oh my God.
But you can also find opinion pieces that are sometimes very thought-provoking. Same thing could be said for me. You know, I reflected on a lot of thought pieces on my content, what was wrong with it, that I'm sort of, you know, again, responding to here, you know, on the H3 podcast subreddit. And yeah, and so I think that sometimes it's a way to sort of review the general online consensus. But again, I can see where people are like, that's also a way to get a very biased source. And I agree.
Okay. So what was biased? What did you say that was biased? What did you go into this with being biased about?
Ethan also does source subreddits often too, his own subreddit. So
this isn't about him. This is not about him. We know that he sources subreddits.
Especially on the Hasan dog collar section, which he completely skipped over at least the second half of that in my video. It made it seem like I was 100% on Hasan's side, but I was not in that video. So I do encourage you to watch that for yourself.
In your apology, you're like, I'm a huge Hasan fan. I'm totally a huge Hasan fan. Like, stop acting like you were objective at all. You weren't. You weren't.
I also do think when I find a situation, a controversy, I should be sure to show the subject's response to that controversy as much as possible. I did do that in sections like the frenemy section. If you don't think I did, please go back and watch it, though I will talk about frenemies more later on. In the content cop section, I did not agree with iDubbbz, and I showed Ethan's response. So please watch that. I showed Ethan's responses to the housekeeper lawsuit. The list goes on. Sorry, my mouth's getting dry.
It's like a Marco Rubio moment.
So anyways, to really show as much of my sources as possible, I'm going to go over the script so you can see exactly where I source snark and when I didn't.
Psych.
I've been discussing wanting to share scripts anyways. So
you don't need to do this. We don't need to see your whole script. We don't need to see your whole script. I think because you only edited like 3 seconds out of your video, I think we all know you still feel the same way. So I'm really not even sure what exactly you're apologizing about. This just feels like more apologies to placate people and not about things you are actually sorry about. Because that would probably take about 20 minutes, half an hour, right? Of like, I said this is what I should have said. You know, I'm being accused of hating Ethan, and I do, or I don't, right? Whatever it is. But an hour and a half, we don't need to pour through your script. And honestly, from what I've been seeing on the internet, it was a bad idea for you to do this.
Sorry, it's so essentially
like you're giving people too much information. And the only people who do that are people who feel like insecure or guilty. And when you give people too much information, they can make a lot of different speculations about your motives, about how you really feel. I just saw someone say, Kate, it gets worse. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, so you can kind of follow along my video like a caption, but with extra hyperlinks and kind of go off of, you know, the video into extra, you know, if you want to read up even more on my sources, where I gather information, see if they are biased or not. And then that'll help me kind of grow as a content creator as well. Okay, is this biased? Should I have found a better source, etc. Yeah, you know,
if you're sourcing for an unbiased video, if you're sourcing for an unbiased deep dive, a video essay, if you will, that is the length of like Gone with the Wind or Titanic, the lion's share of your sources should not be a single community's subreddit. Whether it's H3 or Snark or Hasan or whatever it is. And I know that's difficult because it's like internet stuff, right? But if you're going to use it, at least be critical of it. At least show both sides. Or just don't say it's objective, because you keep saying you're objective. You keep saying you want to make something unbiased, something that even H3 fans can watch. then you have to show good faith, and this you haven't. And I really can't tell if it's intentional or if you really thought that this was an unbiased report.
So this script is linked in the description of this video, but I'll be sure to do that for other scripts moving forward as well.
You don't need to do that.
And
you don't need to show
yeah.
your scripts. We don't need to see all of your work. Again, that is just opening you up to unnecessary criticism with which peace and love you cannot handle at this point in your life. It's not going to be helpful to your content creation, in my opinion. We do not need to see all of your scripts. Maybe if you want to show an outline or something, like you do not owe the internet 1000% transparency. The only people that are asking that of you are these psychopaths who you are trying to court as fans. And that's a road you don't want to go down, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then if you want to read through the links of every source, you have
Luna,
a right
correct.
to do so. That being said, I do think the phrase "you sourced from a snark, so your information your information is bad" is a thought-terminating cliche. A thought-terminating cliche is a common phrase that ends a discussion and discourages further critical thinking by dismissing a complex issue with a simplistic, memorable statement.
Oh, like you love genocide if you like Ethan Klein? Like you're a pedophile if you like Teddy Fresh clothing? We are well versed in thought terminating cliches because they are big in the cult community.
If the information is true, if I'm using a clip that Ethan himself did say, then what's wrong with it being gathered from a snark subreddit? It feels like
the gathering is not the problem. It is your critique of it that is the problem, or lack thereof. Like I said, you and I gathering information from the same source would look very, very, very different. Because you are just taking Snark's framing on face value and being like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Oh my God, he did that too. I better put that in there. Holy shit, he did that as well? That's horrible. I can't believe this guy. When people with actual critical thinking would say, that seems weird. That seems exaggerated. Here's a perfect example, and it's related to Israel-Palestine. A while ago, there was a page on Instagram that released a series of photos of Israeli soldiers with their backs to the camera in their uniform, right? And this account decided to say that the reason they were doing that was because these Israeli soldiers were now so ashamed to show their faces and so scared of retribution that they are now taking all of their official photos with their backs to the camera. People hate Israel right now for a lot of very valid reasons, right? And then also we have ICE covering their faces. So to people who hate Israel, hate the genocide, and are living through masked fascists snatching people on the streets, those three things combined create the confirmation bias of, yeah, I can believe that they did that. I can believe that's what Israel is doing. And that wasn't what they were doing. That was one of a series of pictures that all the Israeli soldiers had. And in that picture, they are like looking back at the Israeli flag. Gag, right? But that's just one of the pictures in their series of pictures. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot just take framing on face value because you will get a very different story. That is the problem. It is not that you sourced it from there. It is that you were uncritical of the information you found. That is the problem, girly. That is the problem.
At times, people are trying to essentially dismiss.
And then if you tell the truth about it, you love Israel and you're sweeping for Israel and you're a genocide lover because you should just be allowed to fucking lie about everything. Right? Like, it's just so stupid. It's so stupid.
Any sort of information that's gathered just for the fact that it was gathered from a snark subreddit, I don't think that's necessarily valid. I understand at different points where I could have gotten something wrong or not understood the full context because of where I gathered the source. That is 100% valid, and I fully agree with that, if that's the case. But just saying this is invalid because it was gathered from a snark subreddit, I feel like that could possibly be Ethan trying to just find a way to discredit anyone because of the fact that it was gathered from a snark subreddit.
Now that's speculation, Madison. You are speculating what Ethan was doing when he said that. That is what speculation is. You are not inside anyone's brain but your own.
So I'm trying to balance those two perspectives, essentially. So,
your balance is off. You need to get your inner ear checked.
Go into the script sources.
Okay, here we go. Oh, Lordy.
Okay, cool. There's people doing this already. I was like, who are these people? So yeah, here's the script. You can see in the very beginning, this is where I think I could have gathered a lot more. So when I highlight in green, this is the clips, essentially. And I'll do, clips that, to try and essentially, especially in the beginning, to be honest, sometimes I'll have clips that I think are, shocking, I guess, And I think in this one, where I definitely went wrong is there's a lot of, TikTok and, I think this one was, commentary, Amon, a lot of,
It's not just where you got it from. It is also the framing of the content. Because as I'm clicking through, it's TikTok, it's Twitter, it's YouTube, right? It's the snark subreddit. And all of it so far is so obviously framed. Like, let me just pull it. I'll just pull it up. It is so obviously framed in a negative light. None of it is objective, and you didn't come at it with critical thinking. You just accepted it at face value. You did not watch any positive spin on anything Ethan has done from what I've seen so far. H3 Snark, very first clip, H3 Snark. Let's see what this one is. Oh, frenemies. Talking about frenemies. We know people that love frenemies. What they're thinking. Here's another one. Viral TikTok sounds. That one's not bad. Ethan Klein's hypocrisy. Why I can't support Ethan Klein's hypocrisy anymore. Totally neutral video to pull as a source girl. The Legend of Ethan Klein, a classic, right? Former fan, fallen fan. Yeah, this is real. We know it was an unbiased girl. You called it the fall of Ethan Klein or whatever. The downfall of Ethan Klein. H3 Snark. H3 Snark. That's the NPR stuff. What is this? What happened to H3H3? Like, you went into this with a thesis. Honestly, you went into it with a conclusion, and then you backed into the thesis. Right? Oh no, she was born in Israel. That means she must be a fucking demon. So this is like background story of them. Let's see which Reddit this is from. H3 Snark. Let's see what they said about it. Oh, what is this? What language is this? Does anyone know this? Ela lied about her role and position in the IDF. That's not fucking true. But these are the things that you are taking at face value and not criticizing. Or not looking more critically into. Just trying to grab some of these. Oh, that's an old video. A lot of this looks like it's old video stuff. Your mom's house. Yeah, that's like the history stuff. Wikipedia. All right, this is just like history. Let's get into the other shit. All right, let's look at this Teddy Fresh shit and what she was actually saying about it. Oh God, what? What are the sirens? What's going on? What's happening? What is going on? Oh my God. She's editing the doc? Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that what you guys are trying to tell me? She's changing the doc live. She's in here right now. Where is she editing stuff? Let's see. That doesn't make sense, Madison, because you already reported on this stuff. Where are you? She's molding. She's editing. Girl, that's a bad idea. Why are you doing that? I don't see her in here. Maybe she's done. Maybe she got caught. She's changing it as brother husband is reading it. Oh, Nick's doing it too? All right. Okay, so if he's doing the script, that's fine. But yeah, just like my point is, these are not neutral sources, right? Of course, they got the Bill Burr. I did want to see this because people said her point in here was like even worse. Teddy Fresh because she and Ethan love the name Theodore or Teddy. Their first son. Following the launch, blah, blah, blah. Immense success. Feels so ridiculous when you realize the same person wearing those silly clothes is the same person who discussed going on an illegal raid. Well, that wasn't the point that got into the final video. That wasn't the point that you made. You kind of upped the ante from her going on a raid when she was 18 to she's actually a pedophile for wearing children's clothing. Wow, these silly clothes. I can't believe she was in the IDF like everyone else that's ever been in fucking Israel. Yeesh. Yikes, 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 yikes. So yeah, as you can imagine, someone said, I haven't counted it. Someone said there were like 50 plus snark links. Of course, we have the N-word compilation, which is, let's see. Oh, this video, which is not related at all. H3 snark. Faux moi. We love that. Ethan Klein sexualizes and mocks Boston Marathon bombing survivor in a deleted video. Again, the framing of it, right? I did a whole video about the Boston Marathon shit. The framing of things is important. Did you watch Ethan's explanation? Did you put that in the video? No, you didn't. All right, let's go back to Miss Teen USA.
Essentially critical videos from Ethan and all, or of Ethan.
53?
So sometimes, you know,
was it 109?
Essentially, because it's like, okay, here are the critical pieces, you know, that I'm trying to compile. This is essentially the critical pieces. I'm trying to show that, you know, put that together so you can see kind of the most, you know, it's the introduction. You know, I have it literally labeled as intro. This is the introduction.
Girl, I cannot
this
do
is what
this.
I'm going to discuss, you know. So a lot of times when I'll clip things, it's from sources that are critical of Ethan to really showcase that and compile that together within the script.
Didn't she talk about Gabe?
I'll try not to do that moving forward if that's a problem. I can source from his actual podcast itself clips.
Oh, and she admits it. She admits that she did not use H3 podcast clips, but she watched them via H3 Snark. Let's roll that back. Let's roll back that beautiful bean footage.
Sources that are going to introduction. You know, I have it literally labeled as intro. This is the introduction. This is what I'm going to discuss, you know. So a lot of times when I'll clip things, it's from sources that are critical of Ethan to really showcase that and compile that together within the script. I'll try not to do that moving forward if that's a problem. I can source from his actual podcast itself clips.
That's a primary source, Madison. The primary source is the one with the person you're criticizing speaking directly, not with the fucking paragraph of framing before you even watch the video. or even just a title, a libelous title. If you're doing clips, you should not be internalizing the framing of those clips. You should be directly sourcing them. And if you do get them from the H3 Snark, you should be critical of them. Guante's in chat for Madison.
Because I can see how that, especially if it's right out the gate and it looks like it's all, these sort of sources. If you're someone that's gonna discount something right out the gate, it's gonna look like I'm gathering from Snark, right there.
You did. You literally just said you did. You literally just said you gather from Snark. And what you're not acknowledging is it's not just the video. It is the way the video is framed, which is not always in good faith. Hardly ever on Snark. That's literally the point of a Snark subreddit, is to be a fucking petty bitch, right?
Yeah, then I talk about the Throughline podcast. This looks like a Reddit source as well. This is a source of Ethan
H3 Snark,
reporting something. Again, this is what made me a little bit intimidated. Was I had seen him report something as he was sort of suggesting, like, do we report this video? Do we not?
Is this the video of Milhouse saying he likes hearing Israeli people running and screaming for their lives that they reported? Girl, if you're not doing that, I think you're fine. I think if you're not celebrating a terror attack, you're fine. This looks like the do not worry set, right?
For terrorism. That made me a little bit nervous.
Girl, that's what I'm saying. Like, look, it's from H3 Snark. And let's look at the framing. So we know what happened in that clip, right? We know that in that clip, Milhouse was jubilantly celebrating watching a clip of Israelis running in terror on October 7th. He was like, oh, it's so sweet to hear Israeli screams. Right? Now, look at the way it's framed by Snark. Ethan and Ethan Klein abusing the YouTube report system to attack a content creator he doesn't like. A lot of context left out of that, Madison. There's a lot of context left out of that. And I bet in this 46-second clip, actually, let's click on it. Let's see if the context is included or if you just see Ethan reporting. Right? Let's see, what page was that? Sorry, South Carolina, you gotta go. I'll just look up terrorism. It's probably in here somewhere. Report. A bit scared because of the false reports Ethan has been doing. False reports! Let's see. Let's see if we can hear Milhouse joyfully celebrating October 7th, which was a terror attack by a terrorist organization.
I apologize to Bertolicious, do not worry, number 130 on YouTube.
I am proudly reporting this guy for, let's see.
Nope. Nothing.
The most terror. Does it promote terrorism? Kind of. I don't know if that's the most accurate. It does promote terrorism. Violent or
violence.
Hateful or abusive? Yeah. I feel like it's even worse than that. I guess we'll do that.
You choose all of the above?
Promotes hate or violence. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
You don't even hear what he was reporting. Oh, it was bombs in North Israel? Thank you. You don't even hear what he's reporting him for.
I'm helping clean YouTube up. Enjoy. Right here. Exactly. Should I write something? Watch the following minute from this timestamp. He is encouraging and cheering on violence against civilians.
Show the video. If it's an abuse of the YouTube report system, show the video. This is you not being unbiased. This is you accepting the framing on its face and not doing the going down the rabbit hole of jumping back like a minute in the actual source and seeing what the fuck they're talking about. You just accepted on face value that this was a false report, that this was an abuse of reporting. You probably didn't even watch the fucking video. Like, I just did more research than you. This is so crazy. Guys, if you are ever wondering if you are on the wrong side of this, just look at this bullshit. Just because they are loud does not mean they are right. And clearly they are not fucking right. If they have to do all of this like sleight of hand and make things up and frame things like this, they are not on the right side of shit. This is... And then she sits there like, I'm just innocent. I'm just a little baby. I don't know why he's attacking me. Because your sourcing is crap. And then on top of that, you are not questioning any of your sources. Like, you're already going to biased locations. And admittedly, you have now admitted you are not watching the actual clips from the actual podcast. What are we supposed to think, Madison? If you spent 3 weeks on this, or if you spent whatever number of weeks you spent on this, and you never made it over to the H3 podcast YouTube to check your sources and to see what was really going on, how the fuck can you claim that you were being unbiased or objective? And how are we supposed to believe that you're not full of shit when you say that's what you meant to do? I'm stopping at midnight because this is fucking crazy. Is there an area that you guys really want me to watch? Because this is so long and my brain is about to fall out. I want to watch the Gabe part. Let me skip to the Gabe part. Because that is of interest to me. Because you don't fuck with people like Gabe. Okay, let's see. This dumb...
Sure, I will comfortably say that's probably a situation I do need to do more research on.
Girl, that one sentence could have been this whole video. You should have just put out that one sentence, unlisted your apology and the original video, and just taken a week off. But let's hear you infantilize Gabe.
Again, a lot of that was used from Ethan's reaction video that he did himself.
That's a great soundbite.
And then this re-uploaded video.
Deej, can you grab that, please, of Madison saying that?
Ethan's reaction video. Again, a lot of that was used. I feel comfortable speaking stories on Jimmy Lee and that whole situation. I don't even know if I feel comfortable speaking on it. Yeah, sure. I will comfortably say that's probably a situation I do need to do more research on.
4350.
Again, a lot of that was used from Ethan's reaction video that he did himself, and then this re-uploaded video.
Blah blah blah. Okay.
Then there is this Reddit post.
All right, hang on.
Ethan's reaction video that he did himself, and then this re-uploaded video. Then there is this Reddit post of Gabe. So again, you can take that as you will. I'm just being fully transparent on this situation of where I got it. Got it from Snark. I will say again, Gabe, that is a situation. Are the segment? Do if you think the segments are funny with Gabe, that's totally fine. I do think maybe that's a situation where, you know, it's someone being used for content and engagement. But I know that, you know, he went on the podcast today. Yeah. So,
What the fuck did you say about Gabe in your script that you're now just papering over? Frequent segment of the H3 podcast will have on the show with a disabled creator. Okay, first of all, there's nothing wrong about with being disabled, obviously. There's nothing like adult people with developmental disabilities can and should have normal lives integrated with society. We have never heard that Gabe is disabled. Gabe has never mentioned that he has any sort of developmental disabilities. Right? The man is a wonderful, beautiful man. You're not unbiased, girl. You're not unbiased. You are framing Gabe in the way that Snark frames him. Poor Gabe not realizing he's being used, infantilizing Gabe. Right after this, Ethan says, looking forward to your birthday next Friday, which of course they didn't attend. That's not fucking true. I'm so glad Gabe has actual friends, and by the look of it, a fulfilling life with lots of positivity. This is like so fucking condescending. Of course Gabe has real friends. And I am certain that Gabe is paid to be on the H3 show. Yes, he is supporting his father in is it Seattle? No one on H3, no one in the H3 audience has ever insinuated that Gabe is disabled, has ever made it some sort of an issue, has made fun of him in any way. The people that have been shitty to Gabe are Hasan Piker, by Gabe's admission. So are you going to feel bad for Gabe about that as well? Or was disabled Gabe manipulated by Ethan into thinking Hasan doesn't like him? Because he's dumb and can't think for himself. Gabe is fucking self-employed. Just fucking stacking cake on Cameo. He has a beautiful life. He has such a wonderful family. The crew loves him. Ethan and Hila genuinely love him. If you want to see people use Gabe for content, check out Tiger Belly. Who was the other person? There was another podcast where like they were like hitting him. I know Tiger Belly was one, but I feel like he went on another show and they were like abusing him. Pauly Shore, thank you. Pauly Shore was being really bad. Pauly Shore, Bobby Lee, these people use someone like Gabe as a fucking punchline. But Gabe is part of our family. You don't fuck with Gabe. Gabe is a grown-ass man. He can do what he wants. And he chooses to come on the show and be fucking hilarious and also be really sweet. Was it not Tiger Belly? I thought Billy Lee was hitting him at one point. Maybe it was on the show. I don't remember. I feel like, why do I think, did I say Billy Lee? I feel like Bobby Lee was having like a, maybe it was just Pauly Shore. Like, girl, you are out of your depth. Again, you are framing, you are taking Snark's framing on face value.
Gay trilogy sounds like my Saturday night.
Shiley Chapman, sunflower emoji, orange heart emoji, gave 6 Canadian dollars and 99 cents. The opposite. When Ethan first showed Gabe on the show, Trisha said he must be disabled and Ethan shut it down immediately.
I don't remember that. If that's true, yeah, that's fucked up. And that also makes sense why the Snark community has hooked onto that. I mean, it also shows their bias about developmentally disabled people if they think Gabe is disabled. Like, they're treating him like a fucking child. These are the kind of people that would think like, oh, don't give someone with Down syndrome a beer when they're like a full-grown fucking adult. Like, check your own biases, but you never will. Yeah, apparently if you're disabled, you can't go on podcasts. Right, exactly. Because if you go on there and you're funny, everyone's laughing at Gabe, not with Gabe. That's what they're assuming, which to me shows they're showing their ass about how they feel about disabled people. And reminder, we do not have any information about Gabe's medical history. He is just a wonderful guy. His ability or disability or whatever his ableness is has no fucking bearing on anything. Like, you are showing your true colors by infantilizing someone you think is disabled. Barf. All right, what else is in here? Because I'm like literally so done with this woman. I told you I was going to get sick of it. It's been, what, 2 hours? I can't do anymore. Like, Triller, are we fucking serious? Literally all of the screenshots that are in here are from H3 Snark. H3 Snark, Fomois, Jake Chinatown, who retweeted someone saying they want to swing Ethan's children by the ankles into a tree until they're dead. Verbatim. H3 Snark. Ozempic. What does this have to do with anything? What does Ozempic have to do with anything? He looked healthier when he was fat. Just buying into all of the fucking bullshit. You were uncritically sourcing information from a community that literally says Snark in their name. How did you expect this to go? It's condescending for you to think that we were going to believe that you had any, like, the interest of objectivity at heart. If everything you pulled was being shitty. Ethan, this time next year. All of this shit was sourced from Snark. Ethan's hypocrisy. Fucking quotes iDubbbz. Ethan Klein is silencing critics. Talking about Noah Samson.
Noah Samson makes it pretty clear that if you are...
How many is this? How many views is this? 4,000 views. Bitch, I get more views than that. This is what you're sourcing? Uninformed leftist? Why? Because you found it on Snark. Forgetting how many kids he had. Like, what are you that's volatile on-air behavior? Substance abuse rumors, which you did not push back on at all. H3 Snark. H3 Snark. Fomois. Jake Chinatown. Jake Chinatown. Jake Chinatown. Pedo troll, of course. Wow, he won at poker. I'm objective, H3 snark, and then one TikTok showing his apology. On what fucking planet would anyone believe that your intention was to do anything but malign and slander and defame Ethan Klein? Because like I've said a few times, if I were to make the same video as you, using the same sources as you, if I was going to take all of your sources and make a different video, it would look very different, because I would not be just shoveling in these opinions as fact. Go ahead and juice. Go ahead and make the video that's going to get you a ton more views, right? Go ahead and do that. But stop acting like A, you are unbiased or objective, and B, that you're doing it from a place of like principles and morality. None of this has helped anyone except you. It helps you. I'm assuming it's helping you feel like you are doing activism when you're not. It's helping you maybe sleep better at night because people now know that you are not pro-genocide. Meanwhile, you're proving it to people who are just fucking dirtbags, whose opinion should not matter to you. Like, just stop with the charade.
We got dickheads.
It's a fucking charade. I scare myself when this flies in, by the way. If I'm really locked in and I see it, it feels like there's someone coming out from behind me. It's just me, though. And still, I've only seen, the only complaint I've seen about H3 fans is that someone said they were going to burn a hoodie she made. You saw the flinch, yeah. The problem is not that you sourced from Snark. The problem is that you just swallowed it whole. And really did not balance it with anything else. Just zooming through, the vast majority of your sources are from H3 Snark and Fomois. The only H3 clips are like old stuff to get like archival information. So, Madison, in this video, you ask, where are you? Oh my God, did she take it down? No fucking way. There we go. In this video, you ask, am I helping? I don't really know what you're asking about helping. Like, what situation are you helping? Because in my opinion, from what I have watched, and I've watched a lot of your stuff now related to this, you are not helping. You have not helped anyone with this, like I said, except for yourself. Which is not morally wrong, right? Like, go ahead and get the views. But you could have actually been a little bit unbiased, a little bit objective. But I do genuinely believe, I personally believe, that you have been tricked, hoodwinked, duped into thinking that this is activism and that this is the work that sort of absolves you of doing any actual real work in your community to make things better. Like, this is why you're comfortable believing everything Snark says, because in your mind, the mission is destroy Ethan Klein and Gaza will be saved. Destroy Ethan Klein, who criticizes Palestinian voices or pro-Palestinian voices, meaning he responds to people that shit on him. And so because of that, it's by any means necessary. No bad tactics, only bad targets. And that framing, right, from the Snark community and from Hasan's communities and orbiters, makes you comfortable believing bullshit and maligning someone without giving them the benefit of the doubt. Because in your mind, he is the enemy. He is evil. Because the hive mind has told you that this is how to help Gaza. This is how to help Palestinians. That if you can negatively impact Ethan Klein, you can sleep soundly at night. But what it really is, it is not activism. It is fruitless harassment that helps no one except your conscience and your ego. You talk a lot about ego in this video, but I think that you're missing this part. This is vanity activism. It's worse than vanity activism because you are actively contributing to a years-long harassment campaign that has had real world consequences. Not just for Ethan and Hila, but for the crew, for Ethan and Hila's children. And none of that has made Gaza safer. None of that has made Israel weaker. It's just made you feel good. It's made you feel like you have made a difference. And I understand how helpless it feels, especially if you're just waking up to the idea of injustice in the world. 25 years old, which I believe you are, is when your frontal lobe is fully developed, right? And I think that is a time for a lot of people, specifically white people, white American people, especially, I mean, I've heard that you were raised Mormon, which is a very privileged society, right? A very insular, where you're not really worrying about a lot of suffering being caused by white people. When you wake up to that, you are very, very angry, as you should be. And you feel helpless because these are problems that have been going on for millennia that no one has solved yet. In your arrogance, as a white woman, you think that you can solve it. It's this white savior complex, right? We have all gone through it. But this is not the way. This is not working. It has not worked. This is not the revolution. The revolution is not going to be tearing down internet personalities. And what you're missing at the heart of this is that all of this started because Ethan Klein deigned to criticize Hasan Piker. There are thousands of pro-Palestinian creators on the internet who are not being sued by Ethan Klein, who are not being criticized, mocked, anything. Hasan is a specific case because he is so audience captured, he let his audience harass Ethan and Hila and the crew nonstop. Ethan is not mad at Hasan because he supports Palestine. But that is the spin, that is the framing that has given y'all the green light to spray your helplessness in one direction so you feel useful. But that framing is not correct. Ethan isn't attacking every pro-Palestinian creator. Ethan supports a free Palestine. Ethan supports a two-state solution. Ethan has donated countless tens of thousands of dollars at this point to Palestinian causes. Ethan and Hila voted against Netanyahu twice. 14 years ago on this pedo troll account, he was talking about how he disagrees with the way Israel treats Palestinians. He disagrees with West Bank settlements. And in 2021, he said the same. The framing is wrong. And lying does not make your case stronger. It makes you guys look useless and unproductive and immature. But as long as you can pat yourself on the back and say, hey, genocide's my red line, when you've done nothing materially to affect that red line. You literally are just spraying your helplessness, your anger, your frustration at a scapegoat who does not impact anything Israel is doing. So in this attack that you've stepped into, in this battle in which you have picked up a weapon of your own choice, who is better off, really? Who is better off 2 years later from all of this harassment and all of this maligning of the Kleins and attacking the Kleins and harassing and bullying and intimidating their staff? Who is better off? Hasan's better off. While all the women do the dirty work for him, Hasan is better off. He was just stacking subbies right up until the point that he shocked his dog, in my opinion, on camera. Hasan's better off. Your ego is better off because you think that you are fighting the good fight. This is not the fucking good fight. This is stupid. This is dumb. This is childish. I understand feeling helpless and frustrated and not knowing what to do and the urge to fight with people you don't know because you can get some sort of feedback from them that makes you feel like you are in the trenches. But these are not the fucking trenches, baby. If you're mad about what's happening in Gaza, go outside. Raise money. Volunteer. Protest. Find real community. No one in Gaza knows who the fuck Ethan Klein is. The only people in Israel who know him are related to him. These people are not connected. They do not agree with what's happening in Israel. And if you had done a sliver of critical thinking, of any sort of research besides going down the snark rabbit hole, you would know that. You showed none of that. So you feel like you have done something real when you get a reaction out of Ethan and Hila, when you see them upset, when you see them cry, when you see them angry. It feels like you are taking on the big boss at the end of the game. You have impacted nothing. You have made nothing better. Not a single thing. You have just made lives worse for your fucking neighbors here in the US. Nobody in Gaza is better off because of H3 snark. Nobody in Gaza is better off because of your first video, your apology, or your live stream. So when you ask, am I helping? No, you are not helping. You have helped nothing. And isn't that a shame? The amount of research you put into this, who knows what you could have done with that time that might have actually had an impact, or at least not been a net negative to the world. Right? Who knows what you could have done? What a shame. What an absolute shame.
Girl with a mic, when is she calling in?
Thank you, Ethan.
Ethan Foster just gave $5. Cruel world is so dumb. I wonder if her husband is ever like, WTF are you doing? Just be a normal person.
I mean, I feel like my wife could say that about me, about like, what is all this shit? Right? But at least I am not under the impression. Oh, Ethan, thank you. I'm not under the impression or the delusion that voicing my opinions about H3 are saving the world or having any impact on anything. I just like H3. It's one of my favorite comfort shows. And I have a justice fixation. And I hate when people lie about shit. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I hate when I see people being hypocrites. I hate when people are lying, even when they think it's in the interest of the greater good. I fucking hate it. But every time some new ding dong comes out and makes another H3 takedown video, I am only affirmed more that I am right and that we are right. What horse shit. There was no way I was going to watch that whole thing. And again, like, she's young. She's young, and I hope that she grows out of this mind frame of, you know, just an inability to actually be objective. Because like the condescension of like acting like this was something that needed to be in the world that hasn't been done 50 times before, that is going to make some sort of a change. Like, what is it going to do? Push Ethan off the internet? Like, what exactly is the goal with all of this, right? So dumb. The cult comparison next stream. Well, I'm going to be back tomorrow and we're playing Subnautica because I haven't played in a month, essentially. I played a couple times, but we were doing spooky games. But we're doing Subnautica Sunday tomorrow. And we ain't doing anything else. We are just talking about Subnautica, which definitely means something horrific is going to happen tomorrow that I'm going to have to talk about. Oy vey. But yeah, it's 10 past buttfish time for real. I can't wait to get back in the water. So yeah, we will, this is when my tongue stops working. We will be back tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 9:30 Eastern, just to play Subnautica for like as long as I want to do it. Does that sound good? Yay. Thank you to everyone for subscribing. We're what, 114 from 10K? Ah! So close. We could be having members before Thanksgiving. I think we will hit that. So yeah, thank you everybody. Please like the stream and make sure you are subbed if you aren't already. I will be back tomorrow night. Guante be with you and also with you. I'll be back tomorrow night to play some video games and just take a break from all this shit. So I'll see you guys there. Okay? Bye, everybody. Love you.